Okay, so what I want to do is basically just walk you through the steps that are needed to create each of the images for your 4 rooms here, right? So we have 4 different designs for our dorm room, and each one of these needs 3 JPEGs. We need a top view, or like a plan view as we call it, and then 2 isometric views. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk you through this checklist. I'm going to go through it myself, and this way you'll know how to do it. So first thing we need to do is change our style, if we haven't done so already, to shaded with textures. So if you don't see the styles tray here on the right, then you're going to go to Window, Default Trays, and then you're going to turn on Styles. Now usually it looks like this, or maybe this, when you're first looking at it. So what you're going to do is just click the drop down, go to Default Styles, and then double click Shaded with Textures, which is usually in the middle somewhere. Okay, when you do that, the background should turn white. Next step. It says to paint walls with a glass texture. So again, we want to do this so that this way we can see through these walls, right? We don't want these walls blocking the view of our design here. So what we're going to do is we're going to triple click the walls. That should select the walls, the window, and the door. You're going to go to the paint bucket tool, and you're going to select glass and mirrors, and then translucent glass. You could do gray or blue. I do gray. And you're going to paint usually twice. You usually have to click on the outside of the wall somewhere and the inside to get it to be fully translucent. Next step. It says to go to camera, and you're going to change it to parallel projection, because by default you're going to be in perspective. I think I'm already in it. Yeah, so yours is going to be in perspective by default. You're just going to go to camera and switch it to parallel projection. Then we're going to go to camera again, and we're going to go to standard views, and we're going to choose top. So for our first image, we're going to take a view of the top of the room. So I'm going to pan over and zoom in so that I'm really just focused on one room. Whenever you're taking these images, you want to make sure that only one room is visible. So you want to spread these out so that you don't see another room, or like any furniture, anything that's outside of the room shouldn't be visible here. And that's what it says for that next step, or like sub step, I guess. Make sure you're directly over one room, and then we go to File, Export, 2D Graphic. So I'm going to do that now. File, Export, 2D Graphic. And you're going to make sure you put this in your OneDrive. Okay. Now it's saying to orbit so that you have an angle view from one corner of the room. And this is what we mean by that. We want to choose an angled view that looks kind of like this, approximately like that. That shows most of the room, right? So we don't want to do it from back here, at least not for this design, because we have these big wardrobes in the front. So you want to choose an angle that's going to show the most of the room. Then it says to go to camera, which we've done before, standard views, and this time you're going to choose ISO, which is short for isometric. Make sure again that there's nothing else in the background. You don't see any other rooms or any other like components that you had sitting outside of the room. And again, File, Export, 2D Graphic. Save this to your OneDrive. And then it says to repeat this step from another angle, because again, for each of these rooms, you need 3 images. One top view, and then 2 ISOs. So again, camera, standard views, ISO. And then we can export that as well. Okay, so that's it for the basic images, right? You're going to do that again for the remaining 3 rooms. So again, you'll have a total of 12 JPEGs. And then for the room that's the best, right, your optimal, ideal solution, I'm going to have another video that's going to walk you through, taking some more detailed views.